In this video, we're going to talk about adding and subtracting fractions. And for a lot of students, this is just one topic that really gives students a lot of trouble. But in actuality, there's just a couple simple rules that we have to follow. And if we follow these rules, everything works out just fine. So we're going to try to make this as painless as possible. So if you have one fraction a over c and you want to add it to a fraction b over c, then there's a couple things we have to remember before we begin. First of all, the denominators have to match before we're going to add these guys together. Now you see I've already done that here. Now I know a question you might have would be, well, Devin, what do we do if they're not equal? Well, we'll actually cover that in the next video. But for now, just remember that before we do anything, we're going to make sure that the denominators match. And if they do, then the arithmetic simply happens in the numerator. So we would just add or subtract or do whatever we're going to do just to the numerator values. So in this case, we'll get an answer. We'll get a new fraction when we add these two. The numerator will be a plus b. We'll add the numerators together. And the denominator is going to be this common denominator that we currently have. And this is our one answer, and we're finished. Now, I know something that's in the back of your mind is, what if the denominators aren't equal? Well, for these examples, you'll see in just a minute that all of our examples, they will be equal, and I promise we will talk about what happens when the denominators are not equal in the next video. All right, but let's work through a couple examples. Let's say we had 2/9 and we wanted to add that to 4/9. So I'm adding fractions here, and the first thing I look at is the denominators, and I make sure, are they the same? In this case, they are. I have a 9 and a 9. Those are my denominators. So since they're the same, then the arithmetic happens in the numerators. So in this case, I'm adding 2 and 4. That gives me 6, and I'm going to keep the same denominator, 9. I'm not going to say 9 plus 9 is 18 or anything like that. No, just when I have a common denominator, I'm just going to keep that common denominator for my new fraction. All right, now one thing you'll notice that happens though is when you get this answer, 2/9 may be simplified and 4/9 may be simplified, but when you add the two fractions and you get a new answer, it may not be simplified. So we do have to remember to simplify our fraction after we add our two fractions together. So 6/9 can be simplified. 6 can be written as 2 times 3. 9 can be written as 3 times 3. We can cancel a common factor of 3. And 6/9 reduces to 2/3. So this would be our final answer for the sum here. Let's try a few more. Here's our next one. -8/3 plus 17/3. First thing I look at is the denominator. Yes, they're the same. There is a 3 and a 3. So the arithmetic happens in the numerator. I have -8 plus 17. So I can do that. Those are just the sum of two integers there. -8 and 17 add to 9. And 9 over 3 would be our answer. I'll simplify that answer if I can at the end. 9 divided by 3 is just 3. So the answer is not even a fraction in this case. It's a whole number. So anyway, if the denominators match, just the arithmetic happens in the numerator. Let's wrap up with one last example. Here we've got a big one. We have three fractions. We have 5/6 minus 7/6 plus 23 over 6. So here I've got a common denominator for all three, a 6, a 6, and a 6. So in my answer, I will have a denominator of 6, that common denominator there. And then the numerator will be the sum and difference of all the numerators. Again, remember, the arithmetic happens only in the numerators. So let's do this algebra. 5 minus 7 is -2, and -2 plus 23 makes 21. So our answer would be 21 over 6. We do need to see if this simplifies. Let's see. 21 is 3 times 7, and 6 is 3 times 2. And sure enough, we can cancel a common factor of 3. So this final answer would be 7/2. So if the denominators are all the same, then I think we have a pretty firm grasp of how to add and subtract these fractions.